Yeah.
Hello, this is Ruth from Suriname, and I am here with our keynote speaker of Masterclass Saturday, Mrs. Karin Refos. And Karin is the leading lady in communication in Suriname. She does big launches for huge organizations for 35 years already, and yeah, you can learn a lot from her and her story on Masterclass Saturday, and that's why we invited her to be our keynote speaker. Good morning, Karin. Thank you for
Hi, good
making
morning,
time.
Ruth.
Thank you for
Thank
making
you.
time.
Thank you.
So I introduced you a little bit already, your professional record, but can you tell us a little bit more about who Karin Refos is?
Well, I am the CEO of STAS International, Strategic Communication and Branding, and work for the top 100 in Suriname, organizations, non-governmental organizations, as well as the government, on huge national campaigns. I also did some regional ones, but specifically, I am in the national campaigning and branding business. I also do policy and project development, as well as, motivational speeches and trainings on success, the road to success, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Furthermore, I have two beautiful children, and my son is working in STAS International as the creative director and financial director. And my daughter just had her bachelor in psychology, and she's also a very good artist.
Okay, so you are in business for over 35 years. You just told me that.
Yes.
And you have two children who are not 35 yet. So how did you combine your career and your motherhood?
Well, to be honest, I studied when my son was very little. So I used to put him to bed at 8 o'clock and then sleep with him till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then start studying till 6 o'clock, and then bring him to school and go furthermore. My daughter and my son, they have a gap of 11 years. So when I started with when my daughter was born, I was 36, and I basically stayed home, not as a stay-home mother, but I had an office in my home. So I brought her to school, worked at home. Sometimes I had some appointments or encounters between 8 and 12. It was the daytime school here in Suriname. And after that, I was working at home. I basically started to go further when my daughter went to the high school. And from there on, it was, of course, easier to stay longer or make some visits to other countries. In the beginning, I had my ex-husband was very supportive, the first one and the second one. So that was very good. It was a good combination, and I could do whatever I wanted. So that was okay.
Yeah, okay. That's because it's very inspiring to me. I'm also raised in a family where the women worked. And so I'm used to women who are ambitious and doing that thing while taking care of the children. It's not that common though, and especially in our region, in our country of Suriname and in the Caribbean region. So are there some tips maybe that you have for women who want to pursue their careers and want to be mothers?
Well, I will stress on one thing, and with or without children, that's planning. You have to plan time with your children, plan time alone. I was lucky that I was in in a century where my mother didn't have a phone and was constantly on the phone or on Facebook or whatever. So she was working, but she always had time for us. And that was something that I think is very important to have in your life, that you have parents that really take time to sit with you and read for you and, and tell you their experiences and make sure that you are preparing for the world. So from that point of view, I think planning is the first step. As I told you, I studied when my son was sleeping, so that I was sure that I had time for him during the day. And since he is a very strong man now in the society, I really am sure that it is also because I took the time to teach him certain things. not only norms and values, but also things that are very important in life. And your children need that, even though if you're working or not. So I think planning is the best thing you can do. And maybe less time on a telephone. That is really something I say every time I talk to young mothers, that do me a favor and put away that phone. Read a good book with your children, you know, and teach them that reading is very important, and not always and alone on an iPod, but also just buy a book and touch the book and feel it and feel everything you are doing.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of social media, I hear.
No, I'm not. I think I have respect for everybody who is on social media, and I think it must be great. And I think, I think I'm lucky that I have a phone and I can see the news and everything, and that's it. And I think that it's important that you not only open up yourself to, bring everything in that is coming, but that you go and choose what you want to read and want to see. And the only thing to do that is to go to a bookstore, or you can go to your online bookstore or whatever, but don't spend too much time on Facebook and online and just sitting with your phone and up front and, going like this and before and after and on and on and on. There are other things to do in life.
True. Social media does take up a lot of your time. So planning.
Everybody I knew on social media, I didn't even want to be friends with them, because I have such bad experience with people constantly on social media. They are never focused anymore on something. You cannot have a good conversation, and maybe I wasn't lucky enough, but I don't think it didn't add any other value to my life since now. Then looking for, some important empowerment speeches, things like that. I agree that it's important. You can use it in a positive way, but I'm not very impressed, furthermore.
No, but you will impress us on Saturday the 25th. I'm sure of that. Because I've seen you speak. We shared a stage at TEDx Paramaribo Women. Still one of my proudest achievements. You are going to speak to us in your keynote about your pathway to success. Can you give us only a little bit, insight of what we can expect that Saturday?
Well, to be honest, I want to, as I always do, stress on ethical leadership, the norms and values as a basic in life, in your private life and in your business life and in your social life. And that is one side of the story. I stressed on teaching women how to say no, how to focus, how to plan their life, and even combine private life with business life, and make sure that you choose the right partner to go along with you in life. Because if you just go for less, then you will never end up where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just go through steps which can lead to success. And the hard things we all have in life, and we must face as women, as human beings, to be honest, and as women, because we want to have children, things like that. That's perfect. We are the only ones who can have children. Men cannot have children. So we always want to have some gaps. And because we have those gaps in timing, because if you have a baby, you have to take care of your baby. You have to be there. You're going to be tired. Just prepare for everything, and then it's going to be okay. And as I was young, I was constantly stressed also, because I want to do this or have that. And just teach young women that it's going to be okay. Just take your time and make sure that you just stay focused on the positive, and it's okay. And you're going to be there. Just make sure that you plan and that you say no when you don't want something. Don't go for less than what you deserve. That is what I want to teach women in that specific masterclass.
Yeah, awesome. So that's a very important message because women tend to be a bit more modest than they should be, in my opinion. And if you're too modest, you never get what you really want and what you really deserve, right?
You have to go for the best.
Yeah. So I also wanted to know, you're the branding and communication specialist here in this country. Why is it so important for people, and even if you don't have a huge company, to work on your branding, to be visible, especially for women?
Yeah, because if you want to make it in the world, people have to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to know you, and we are in a community where it's very important where you come from. And even if you come from a nest that was not that popular, you can just go and reach higher. We have a lot of examples of past prime ministers who always told people here that their parents were very poor and they just kept on learning and learning and go further and further till they reach their goal. So that is one thing. You have to be visible. To be visible, you have a certain image. And if your image is not good, you have a problem. So what I teach people, and even people in my private life, because everybody is looking at you in what you did. So you have to be very careful in what you do, because that's your image.
Yep.
You know, be very careful in what you do, because people will recognize you and know you in what you did.
Yes.
And if you have a bad image, you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to connect it to you. You will, you will experience that people will not be, won't be connected to you or aren't interested to connect to you. So I think you have to be very careful in what you do. That is the first lesson I teach to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, if you choose the path of ethical leadership for yourself, personal leadership, taking control to your life, then you can make the how you say that, you can draw the line. This is not for me, and this is for me. This is good for me. This is not good for me. And just stay on track. Don't let people influence you on their habits, their bad habits, on smoking pot or whatever. Just say no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it in my life because I want to go there. And to go there, I cannot have this.
Yeah. So
little important things.
So it's about learning and daring to say no. It's about making choices. Leadership, I always say leadership is about making choices.
Making choices, that is number one.
Yeah, that's what leaders do. So I am already very inspired, Karin, and I'm really looking forward to your speech in 2 weeks. And thank you again for making time today. Everybody who watched this video, I hope you are as inspired as I am right now, and that we will see you live during the Inspiring Ladies of the Caribbean Summit on November 24, 25, and 26th in a courtyard by Marriott, Paramaribo, where you will meet Karin and hear her very inspirational speech. Thank you, Karin, and enjoy the rest of your day. You're welcome.
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank